It's me again, Joel. Welcome back to another video. And yes, finally, I am doing my February 2020 reading wrap up. After few attempts, probably twice or thrice of doing this for the past couple of days, I have finally decided to film it because it's already almost the first week of March is almost done. And yeah, these are the books that I've read for February 2020. So for the month of February 2020, I've read 5 books, which is there's an improvement on my January wrap up, which I only read 4 books. So without further ado, these are the books I've read for the month of February. I'm going to, by the way, present these books according to when I finish them. So it's a chronological order. And yes, the first book that I've finished is actually a what do you call this one? A graphic novel, and I've read it on an ebook, and this is Nimona. Nimona is a young adult fantasy, which I have heard a lot of good things from years ago, and I haven't checked into it until this month. Actually, I haven't even have any plan on reading this. It was just I was really in the office, and then there was this time that it will I'm not doing anything in the office, and then I do have my computer in front of me, and then said, okay, what should I do right now? I shouldn't be wasting time. So I open a browser, and then I'm search for a very short and very good graphic novels, and Nimona is always there aside from Saga, or these are actually comics, Saga, and what you call this, the other one, and many more. But it was Nimona, who is it's a graphic novel that always pops up. So okay, I've heard this book before. I've seen this book way many times on our local bookstore, on book sale. Why not check what this book is all about? So basically, I have read this without knowing anything. I was quite hesitant because I didn't like the art style. I am more of the art style which is more on details like Monstres. Nimona was not like Monstres. It was way far when it comes to attention to details compared to Monstres. But I did not expect that I will really enjoy reading Nimona. The one thing that I really like about this graphic novel are the characters. The characters were so addictive. I mean, they draw me to the world, and even though I still don't have any idea what's the story all about, where the story is going to, what's going to happen, how the book will end, but I just caught myself following the characters and enjoying the dialogues, their interactions with each other, their motivations with each other. I mean their motivations and the choices they're doing all throughout the story was amazing, which I did not really expect, and also the humor and how flawed they are, but at the same time they feel so realistic, even though it's a fantasy. But if we're just going to take fantasy out of the picture and just really relate to the characters and compare them to these people in real life, we can definitely connect to them. That's what I really love about the graphic novel. It was a story that needs to be told. It was a story that needs to be heard. And yeah, I ended giving us the book 4 out of 5 stars because I do think there's still something that was missing, and I think that is because it was short. I actually really wanted more, and also some of the characters needs improvement. Even though some of the characters were great, I've been praising the characters, but some of the side characters was just really not that complex or diverse, or yeah, I just need more from the story. I think that's what main reason why I gave it 4 instead of 5 stars. But it was a really good read. I did really enjoy reading the entire graphic novel. So if you haven't checked Nimona yet, it's all over the web. You can always check them, that book. And I don't know if there's a second book. So if you do, guys, if you've heard a sequel to this, I haven't checked yet. Just leave your answers in the comment section down below. So yes. So the second book that I've finished reading for the month of February is going to be this one. This book, Rebel by Marilu. This is surprisingly the fourth book of the Legend trilogy, which is Legend, Prodigy, and Champion, which is, I'm a big fan. If you have seen my all-time favorite books or all-time favorite series, I included the Legend series by Marilu is one of my all-time favorite series. And I was really surprised. I heard last year that there will be a sequel, a fourth book of the series, because I thought it was only a trilogy, and the trilogy ended years ago. So I thought it was, wait, what's happening? Why is there a fourth book? And then I tried to look for and check the premise. So the premise was kind of exciting. I was, as a fan, I was kind of excited after reading the what the premise is all about. That the main point of view we're trying to follow is the side character in the first trilogy, which is Eden, the younger brother of Day, and the setting is completely different. It is not on the Republic, and it is already also happening. The setting will be on the Atlantic, which is a futuristic city in the world set by the author. So yeah, this is the fourth book of the series, which I am going to be careful because since I don't want to spoil you guys, especially those who haven't read the trilogy, I suggest you need to read Legend, Prodigy, and Champion. It's worth it. It's action-packed, sci-fi, great set of characters, great story, and this one was quite a disappointment. This is actually the first book I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to love this book, guys, but overall, there's one thing or one word I can describe what this book is all about, and that one word is going to be unnecessary. I do think that this book should not exist. It should never have been. I don't know. It was really disappointing. It was really sad. At the same time, angry. Why did you do this, Marilu? I mean, while I was reading this, it reminded me a lot of things on Warcross, her previous young adult science fiction book, also a couple of years ago, and Warcross was okay for me. Wildcard, I haven't read Wildcard because I don't see myself reading Wildcard because Warcross was not that outstanding, but I do have the Wildcard copy now. But this one, it is just Legend meets Warcross at the same time. I do think that the essence of the story that happened on the trilogy, on the Legend, Prodigy, and Champion is not here. Yeah, there are the same set of characters. Day is there, and also June is there. But guys, Day and June, I do understand that they are older in this one, but you do feel that they are not the Day or June that we used to love on the first trilogy and the first 3 books. I was really lost. I do love Eden's character, but that's it. Everything, the plot was cringy, other characters was predictable, cringy, and you can't really connect to them because they lack personality. It was really not unnecessary. June and Day's love story was cringy, I think. This is a science, this is a romance novel disguised as a science fiction novel. Trust me, there's less action, less things that are happening. It's more focused on the love story. So I do feel that this is a romance rather than a science fiction, which is a bummer for me. Why, Marilu? Why? There's one thing I only love about this book is the relationship between Day and Eden, and that's it. Nothing else. I really tried my best. What are the good things that happen in this book? What are the things that I want to like from this book? And that's just the only thing that I can think of. Day and Eden's relationship. The rest were close to garbage. I'm really sorry for those of you who have read this. This was so unnecessary, especially coming from a big fan of the first trilogy. I do find this one like really just unnecessary. So the third book that I've read for the month of February is probably one of my all-time favorite. I do, for those of you who have who knew me, you know guys that I really love Ready Player One. It's probably one of the best books I've read in my entire life. And I think Ready Player One as a science fiction, I think I found the fantasy version of Ready Player One, and I saw it in this book, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. And guys, this is like Ready Player One, but instead of science fiction, this is fantasy. The genre is fantasy, and reading this book is like, you know, playing an RPG game where you need to level up, you need to go here, you need to go there. There's a set of adventure. So yeah, the premise of this one is actually we follow a set of characters. They call it the band. We're composed of different old set of characters who used to be legendaries, who used to be great hunters and magicians, and it's a diverse group. Way back in their younger days, and then they disbanded, they tried to retire, they settled with their family, but then one thing happened, there's a thing happened on one of the members, and they were forced to band again together to reform the band to complete a mission. And it was really funny because they're not used to be the one when they were in peak. They're old, they forgot how to do stuff that they used to do when they were young. The humor, at the same time, one thing I really love about this one is that they already have more wisdom than they used to. It was just a reunion at the same time, a life-changing reunion where they really have to embark on this adventure. The adventure in this book was really outstanding. The plot was also outstanding. There's only one thing I don't really like about this book, and that's the only one thing I don't really like about this book, is because yep, I do love the adventure, but at the same time, the first half of the book we do see, or I caught myself just trying to follow these characters, going to some place, going back to this place, going to that place, without really knowing what's going to happen. It was good that it was established. The motivations of the characters was established. Why is this character doing this? Why is this character decided to join the band again? And what's in it for this character by joining the band again? But at the same time, there were some dragging parts. I caught myself, I was really bored because there was some unnecessary stuff that was injected to make sure that some of the side characters will have a highlight, I think, to highlight their personalities, their background, their previous lives, which I do understand, but sometimes I just find it kind of almost dragging, because I really want to know what's really going to happen. I really want the story to progress. But yep, this book never failed me. The moment I reach almost a two-thirds of the book, it keeps on rolling and rolling till the end, and it was great. It was entertaining. There's an epic battle. There's magic. There's great set of characters. It was an adventure with fantasy. If you're a gamer and you love to read books, I guess you need to check this one out. Highly recommended, Kings of the Wild. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And next book I've read for the month of February is actually not part of my plan, again, the same to the Nimona. I did not see myself reading this one, but I have a friend who told me, who heard me on my previous videos, who that I purchased this. I got this for 20 pesos only from book sale, and he told me that you need to read that one ASAP because that book is magnificent. And this is Our Town by Thornton Wilder. This is a Pulitzer Prize winner on 1939, 1937. I don't know what is the exact year that this book won the Pulitzer Prize, but this is actually a play in 3 acts. So this book contains a script. If you can see, the writing style, the format is actually through a script on a play, and there's 3 acts on this one. I've read this. The first act was refreshing. Basically, before we proceed, this is all about, we follow a set of characters, set of families, and this simple urban town way back in pre World War II, where everything is simple, still no automobile. It was just a really simple life, layback life, where people are, you just try to live day by day, try to survive day by day, and it is happening on a um, rural area in one of the states, or one of the states in the US. And yep, it is basically we're trying to make grasp of our town is basically their town, and what is the life, what it seems to be like to live in their town. So on the first act, it's basically what this town is all about, how did it started, um, the most common, or I mean the most important families or individuals in the town, important personalities, and then we were introduced to the families and our main characters. It was just it was refreshing, it was a layback, it gave me an impression of life way back and this time around 1930s before World War II, and the simple town was really simple. No technologies, no phones, no automobiles. It was just going to school, playing in the backyard, drinking milk, and basking in the sun. Very refreshing. And that's basically the first act. The second act was where I was really bored. I think there's nothing really happened in the second act, which I almost did DNF this because of the second act, because I think the second act fell into just something like a middle syndrome. I mean the middle act syndrome, just to connect the first and the third act. It was almost unnecessary also, but I do see the reason why the second act was there. It is actually a perfect setup of things to happen in the third act, which I totally did not see coming. Guys, I'm telling you, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And yes, probably one of my all-time favorite books as of this moment. I cried like a baby after reading the third act. While reading the third act, after reading the third act, I was really devastated. This gave me an impression that I think will last for the rest of my life. Thinking about how this book ended, thinking about the things that happened in the third act, still gave me those chills, those realizations, those I don't want to spoil you guys, but just read this one. This delivers a strong punch of emotion, and also delivers great lessons that we human beings need to hear and will be able to apply in our daily lives. This is heartwarming, heartbreaking, emotional, a story that everyone needs to hear. And this book will teach us a very important lesson that we need to learn as early as now, no matter how old you are, what job you have right now. This book will teach you something that you will surely appreciate. This book will teach you something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. I promise you that. Read Art Town by Thornton. It is very short, probably around 127, and the writing style is like this. So probably you can read this within an hour or two. I read this with almost a week because again I was bored. I put it down on the second act because I think what is this? This is really outdated, and I was really glad I finished the book because the third act was why. Just read this one, guys. And now we're down to the final book that I've read for the month of February, and this is going to be my first book of the Adult SFF Readathon 2020, The Black Prism by Brent. This is the first book of the Lightbringer series. This is under an adult category and fantasy genre. This is The Black Prism, first book of the Lightbringer series. I have a love and hate relationship with this book. I hate this book because of the author, how sexist he is. I love this book because this book is magnificent. But before we proceed to that, the premise of this book is we follow the story is set in this world where people are really religious. They have this so-called hold'em, which is equates to our god, and hold'em is the one who provides power to these individuals. So some individuals do have power, and the magic system, the individual do have power, can turn light into a physical thing. For example, the physical manifestations of the light that they can turn to will depend on the color. For example, there's 7 lights on the prism because it's from the rainbow, right? Red down to violet, so there's 7 lights. So the power that the individuals can do will depend on the light that he or she can control or can absorb and turn into a physical thing. So we have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, ultraviolet, sub-red. It's a complex magic system. It was really interesting. It was really complex, but it was not complicated. It was really complex and vague at first, but it will be easily understood if you just continue reading. And there's also an appendix at the back if you're really confused. This will not spoil you if you just really want to check what the magic system is all about. If the person can manipulate color yellow, what he or she can do with the color yellow, then you can check it at the back. So the magic system was really unique. It was really creative. So we followed this set of characters, or these individuals set of the world where they can control power. They can control light and convert it into a physical thing. And yeah, there are 7 satrapies. Satrapies is so-called kingdoms. It equates to kingdoms. And each satrapy do have a specialty of, for example, one satrapy can control red, one satrapy, and then they have this capital where the elite and most of the people were sent by these satrapies to be trained. We also have the monochrome. These are people who can control only one light. We have the bichrome. These are blessed people who can be able to control 2 lights. And we have these people, rare people who can, or polychrome, which can control more than 2 lights, so they can control 3, 4, and there's only one person on every 1,000 years that can control all 7 lights, or all 7 colors, and we call him the Prism. So, yep, in this story, we have the Prism. One of the point of view here on one of the characters that we follow is a point of view of the Prism. The other one is the Kip, the 15-year-old, very flawed, imperfect, but full of personality character, which I really love. And yeah, the story in this one was really interesting. It was something new, something I haven't heard before. Also, the magic system was magnificent. And going back to the only one I don't like about this book is how the author portrays or describes the female characters. For example, the author is really sexist for me. There's a new female character and he wants to describe this female character by saying an old woman with a broad shoulder and saggy breast, like with nipples, and you know what I mean, body parts. And he's not doing this on male characters, he's only doing this on female characters, well, like where their undergarments are being shown. I've read some books that are borderline or similar to those kinds of writing style, but in this one, it was from start to finish. It seems that the writer enjoys doing that to his female characters, which kind of annoys me. And then at the middle and then towards the end, I was just really angry. Like, seriously, Brent, do you really have to do that? Was it really necessary to describe your female characters using their saggy breast and stuff like that? And yeah, it's an adult, but if we're going to take that off of the picture, I can highly suggest that this one is way better. I don't want to compare as of this moment because I still am reading. I'm actually halfway done with the second book, The Blinding Knife, the second book of the series. I think it's too early for me to conclude, but what I can only say is that this one is really interesting, full of great characters. Some are great characters, some were just okay, but some of the main characters do have a great personalities, and also the magic system. That is the best thing that, for me, that happened in this book, is the magic system. The magic system was just something really entertaining, unique, and easy to follow. And also, of course, the story itself, and how how the relationships of one character intertwines with the other character. So I'm really excited to read the second and the rest of the books for the series. And yeah, so those are the 5 books. I actually gave this 5 stars. So again, as a review, Nimona 4 stars, Rebel 2 stars, too bad, Kings of the Wild 5 stars, Thornton Walters Town 5 stars, and the Black Prism 5 stars. So out of the 5 books, I gave 3 5 stars, gave 1 2 stars, and I gave Nimona, a graphic novel, 2 stars. And I dropped my camera, so thank you so much, guys. My name again is Joe, and bye bye. Have a great day.